Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Every day some discovery is made that leads to new inventions. So the process is very simple: inspiration or observation, and that is a discovery. Now in science, inspirations can come from anywhere. A researcher might wonder about the thirst produced by the butterfly wings as they flit through the meadows, the squirrels navigating campus trees like a park out artist, and jumping from branch to branch. That could be an inspiration. Analyzing intestines, and that could be a discovery. And those discoveries, which are already there, lead to further inventions. So I'm going to talk to you about some discoveries that can have far-reaching impact. Are you aware that the shark's intestines function like Tesla valves? Nobody knew about it. It was in 1920 that a Serbian-American inventor, Tesla, designed a device without any moving parts that allowed fluids to move from one direction while preventing the backflow. These valvular conduits are a series of fixed tear-shaped loops that allow the fluids to travel through the device, but they block any returning liquid. Now, he made it, and now it is saying that the same is the process of the intestines. When you digest, they absorb nutrients from food, flush out waste, which certainly should go the way it came in. So in the animal kingdom, the intestines come in all shapes and sizes. Many creatures, like human beings, have tubular intestines that require a muscular contraction to pull the food through. But then the shark's intestines slowly move digestive mail through spring-shaped spirals or funnels, depending on the species, and he could every last calorie and get rid of the rest. So the researchers last year, that 2021, found that these spiral organs also resemble the design and function of Tesla valve. The twist, the turns, the funnel is the liquid forward, which can be energy-saving form of digestion. The sharks have all these different little tweaks to the Tesla valve design that makes them more efficient. So studying these intestines of the sharks, now the scientists are researching whether the natural wonders can be used to improve wastewater filtration system for removing microplastics. So the discovery of the shark intestines and invention would be removing microplastics from wastewater filtration. And they say, according to Professor Lane, depending on the results, they might be able to tweak the spiral intestine design to make filters as effective as possible to remove microplastics, which is a major source of pollution of the oceans and the water. Not only here, squirrels. The scientists observed that the squirrels risk a long-distance leap if there is a steady branch to land on. They have agility, they have recovery. So the next step, they are very careful. They recover, and they recover because they can stick to their landing. So the scientists learned two lessons. designing how agile robots analyze a target to jump forward, how they can recoup the missed marks according to the research published. So, like squirrels, so discovery is squirrel's way of jumping from a branch to branch, and the invention is likely to be on which the scientists are working. That the robots, agile robots, fast robots, could perceive opportunities to exploit specific aspects of the world around them that directly complement their capabilities. So, according to Professor Hunt of Nebraska, he says that the senses and perceptions may be designed to directly identify only the critical information. And this is basically, they have seen it. Now, what the scientists did was to observe the squirrels. They put fox squirrels in an obstacle course, in a eucalyptus grove, and they saw how the squirrels altered their jumps depending on the branch flexibility and the nearness of the fox. They would jump a few times and eventually they could be successful. So the engineers are designing robots for inspection and maintenance, working in homes and even exploration, that can learn a few things from bushy-tailed rodents. Then beetles, the squenger beetles. We know that thanks to the surface tension, the spider ants, snails, and lizards can walk on water. That was observed long back. But now they have seen that these bugs, the beetle bugs, flip upside down and scuttle along under the surface of water, as if they are clinging to the underside of a glass table. So behavioral biologist John Gould says the moment he saw that the beetle was moving across the underside of the water surface, he knew he had found something bizarre. So he is now working on this observation, how they do it, and then put it in the use. He observed that the beetles trap air bubbles with their leg hairs to keep them oxygenated and keeps them afloat and pinned to the surface. These bubbles give the bug enough support to put some pressure on the water-air boundary without breaking through. Now, there are a number of questions about the physiology of beetle itself, but the food anatomy affects this skill, and that is being used. Now, what the scientists are working is on an invention that the water skimming micro robots are already existing. So what they are doing is that they are building robots which can move between terrestrial, the land, and the aquatic environment. So they are using these bugs' capability to cling to the underside of the water surface. And this BeetleBot could eliminate the need of hybrid models because the device could walk on the water and walk on the land. So they can go further, and then it can remain motionless in one spot. And according to Professor Gould, a beetle-inspired aquatic adhesive or structural design could be a solution for keeping objects at the surface of water to measure vibrations, take temperatures, readings, and collect other data. Are you not really amazed? And then, wow, this was something which takes a cake. This gecko, and it cancer defines, and 900 babies a gecko produces in a year. And a cancer patient gecko has the genes which are transferred to the 900 babies. So, what they do? And yet they recover. Dr. Frost recovered and had these geckos, and he purchased a rare tear of lemon frost, 90% of the lemon frost geckos develop skin cancer that arises from pigment producing cells. So University of California and Professor Guru, they happened to reach out to sites to study the gecko moths and look into the genetic mystery of the lemon frost geckos. And then they saw that the same gene is linked to the skin cancer in humans and is also responsible for the tumors over there. So they say that the way gecko recovers from cancer naturally or by itself, they're studying what is there. So what they're doing is they're taking the cultures of this luminescence, this shine, and develop a new cell line for investigating tumor pathways for potential treatment. One of the researchers, Lara Urban, says that this would enable them to cure skin cancer and contribute to therapeutic development, without having side effects of the cancer treatments. And for the first time, MIT researchers discovered that the butterfly wings grow scales. We know the wings are there, but they say that these scales inspire new multifunctional material in the vibrant colors. And they say that this growth of scales can be used to control water resistance and able to see the process and control levers. So that will help them strategize the next generation of advanced functional material. What they are doing is they are trying to metamorphose and develop a butterfly in the lab and want to see what sort of bioadhesive is there which attaches the butterfly's wings to the body. And they have found that with microscopic that there are small points of light, and these cells up to the first row are extremely helpful. So they can be used, this technology which they have discovered in particular can be used for shingles on the roofs where the adhesive would be natural and there would be continuity without the breaking. Purpose would be a material solution with multiple coveted functions, and that could control optical appearance, color, they would change, the wetting characteristics would change, and the whole dynamics of roofing would change. And then they have observed lemurs. They hibernate for 5-6 months, and their behavior is absolutely in time during hibernation amazing. So what the Duke University professors did, they exposed the creatures to 9.5 hours of light instead of assembly of 11 hours to mimic winter's shortened daylight. They lowered the body temperature to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and they found this way that the heart rate slowed to 8 beats per minute. But when they came out of hibernation, they were absolutely okay. Now the same thing which is in nature in lemurs, the scientists are trying to use it in surgery, because the present surgery's sedative energy can be very harmful. So they say that if this can be utilized, then the surgeries could be much easier and it could improve the current methods for slowing down the body process, especially during the life-saving surgery one and long-term space travel. When you're traveling in space, you're basically hibernating, so they want to reduce the body temperature. They want to reduce the heartbeat. So successful space travel, which requires months and years of inactivity, can be used, can be translated as hibernation period, and at the moment they reach the end, they can recover back, and voila, the things are there. These are some of the inventions, but that's not the end. We'll continue these inventions next week, same time, and I look forward to talk to you about the new inventions that could materially change our lives and could be possibly launching pads for still further progress. So see you next week. Thank you.